What's good, family? Welcome to Boss Talk Radio. We're going to have a fun episode today. This is the first time I've been back on in about literally a month. Can y'all believe, time flies. I did not realize it had been a month since our last episode with Miss Sharita Humphrey and the team over at True Fun. Time flies when you're working hard and playing even harder. But welcome to the show. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to talk about all the stuff that's been going on with myself, the business. We're going to talk about some changes in the tax law. I'm getting a lot of phone calls about this advance child tax credit. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Of course, we're going to do a little bit of motivation. We're going to talk about some things you guys need to take care of in your business. And I know what y'all all been waiting for because they had me in Facebook jail, so we're going to talk about why I was in Facebook jail at the top of the hour as well, and 5 minutes of fire. We're going to pay some bills and be right back after this.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
The U.S. government has given billions of dollars to businesses in an effort to curb the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The government will begin to pursue recouping these funds in 2021. Aggressive penalties will be imposed on companies that do not follow regulations and guidelines for proper use of these funds. Criminal charges are already being levied on fraudulent use. Don't suffer again. Get a customized business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services for your company today. Boss packages include entity formation, payroll, accounting and bookkeeping, tax planning, tax filings, and quarterly strategy sessions to minimize your tax liability, increase efficiency, and maximize your profits. Make your appointment today at elite8financial.com. Get the guidance, tools, and protection your business needs now. Get Boss. Get behind the shield.
I chose to use Elite 8 Tax Preparation Services was mainly because of the certifications they have received. George and his crew have multiple certifications, and I felt very comfortable in switching from my previous tax preparation company to his company. I have extreme confidence in my tax return this year. His attention to detail was amazing, and I felt like nothing was going to be missed. And with my job and being an independent contractor and being a private business owner, there are so many pieces of the puzzle, and I didn't want any of those things to be missed. And believe me, I believe that they found it. Get behind the shield.
Welcome to Boss Talk Radio, the #1 online business and entrepreneurial talk show. Brought to you by Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services.
Boss Talk Radio, keeping it real, yeah, that's for sure. I said a Boss Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. He the boss.
He gon' fix your situation like there ain't no time for wasting. We ain't playing when we saying
he the boss.
And if you ever have a problem, he gon' show you how to solve it. Listen in and he'll show you he the boss.
Talk
Here's your host, the sexy tax expert, George Dandridge.
Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. He the boss.
Welcome, family. So first we're going to start with a little bit of housekeeping rules. You, of course, want to have pen and paper or your little digital notes thing or whatever it is that you keep good information on, because as always, we're going to drop this knowledge on you. We're going to get to that in a minute. If you are watching from YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed already to the channel, go ahead and look up Elite 8 Financial / Boss Talk Radio. Hit that subscription link. Follow us there, because they might ban me from some of these other platforms in a minute. But of course, you can always follow us at talkbossradio.com. I'm going to get into that a little bit later, and how Facebook tried to hit me with the misdemeanor or whatever because some of y'all are emotionally, a little too sensitive. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Meanwhile, if you want to leave some comments, and I definitely want you to leave comments, I want you to do a couple things for me. Number one, if you're watching on Facebook, give StreamYard permission to use your name so I can properly shout you out so it doesn't just tell me Facebook user. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We like to know what the demographic is. And also, if you have not yet done so, share the video, share the video, share the video. One of my cousins is on here. I don't know which one because they didn't give the permission or whatever, so I can't see it from here. So anyway, we're going to get into this week's episode. We are going to start with the boss term of the week, and it's been literally a month since I've been in here, so I'm like struggling to find different things that I normally use or whatever. I didn't want to hit y'all with a whole commercial or whatever, so maybe I forgot to load that part back up when I edited it last time or whatever. So we're just going to get right into boss term of the week because I'm seeing this a lot on social media talking about success. The smartest people know that success is something you have to define for yourself, and here's the reason why. By definition, it's the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Well, here's the thing. Everybody's aim ain't the same. Everybody's purpose is not the same. So that's why you have to define success for you. I just recently realized that I'm uber successful and didn't even catch on to it. Here's the reason why. I do believe in the manifestation thing, and there were some things that I set out to do, and because they didn't come to fruition the way that I wanted them to, or the way I thought it would look like, in my feeble mind, of course, it was like, okay, well, it didn't happen, but in reality, it happened in due time. If you are not able to watch on Facebook or YouTube, here's the link to catch it on Amazon. You can listen while you drive. Yes, we are on Amazon amongst another dozen and a half or so podcast players. You can find us almost anywhere. So no reason to miss this information. Be sure to check us out. So in recent news, like I said, last year, I had said, okay, well, I'm going to set out, instead of doing all of these, teaching engagements, basically, I'm going to set out to do some paid speaking engagements. And I did a very big one on April 1st with the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. That was a pretty big deal for me, pretty large organization or whatever. I had attended some local chapters prior to, so that was a pretty big deal for me. I celebrated myself, but it was in the middle of tax season, so I didn't fully celebrate. And I'm doing another one with one of our partners you've seen on here that helped a lot of you with the PPP, which was True Fun. I'll be teaching a class with them on next week, Thursday. If you haven't enrolled in some of these programs that they have, you're really missing out on some key business opportunities, not only from a networking standpoint, but from a resource standpoint. We're going to get into that in this next segment here. Well, actually, we can go and talk about that now. You guys have to, you say you want something, but when the information is given and you don't take advantage of it, it puts everything that you say into question. I mean, literally everything. So we've talked about how to get you guys funding, what you need to do prior to funding. Some of y'all want to put the cart before the horse, and y'all will call me and y'all are asking about, hey, how can I get a business loan? Hey, how can I get a business grant? And your business is not in order, So another thing that we've been working on, and it is launched and ready to go. Link is on the screen. You can go to Boss Coach. Now, if you've been following us for a while, you know that BOSS is an acronym for Business Operations Success Suite. That's a trilogy of products that we have that's designed to support your business, including accounting, payroll, sales tax filings, entity formations, credit card processing, the whole nine, and including, yes, business funding. But we're not going to allow you to tap into our resources if you don't meet the prerequisites, which is making sure that you have all of your returns filed and timely, fines paid or whatever. So we recently had a situation where someone was in business. They are in business, rather. They reached out to have some tax returns done, and we started requesting some information. And a lot of what we were asking for, they had not heard of, like, at all. And I was blown away because these were like essential things for them to operate. So here's the first thing I'll drop on you guys. If you have an online business, and a lot of you do, and your business consists of products, you need to check with your state to see if you require either resale permit or seller's license or sales tax permit, because a lot of you do and a lot of you don't have it, and sometimes these agencies wait until you've built up a little bit of fines and penalties before they come to talk to you. So these are the reasons you need to have an accountant or bookkeeper or tax professional in your corner prior to. I hear a lot of you say, well, yeah, I'm going to hire somebody as soon as I start really making money. But I can't tell y'all how many times people come to me thinking they're ready to go to the next level, and we have to backtrack and go fix a whole bunch of stuff, which gets us into the next term here, and that's infrastructure. Infrastructure is the general term for the basic physical systems of a business, region, or nation. I'm going to let y'all marinate on that for a minute, because when I come back, we're going to talk about that some more and talk about how to position your business from it. I've found so much money out here. It's ridiculous. So we're going to let y'all in on a little bit of what's going on with that and how to get these funds. We're also going to talk about the advanced child tax credit, because I'm getting a lot of calls about that, and I don't want you guys to get in trouble. We'll be back right after this.
So one of the questions was, how was our experience in comparison to with Elite 8 in comparison to other tax professional services? And I think I'll just kind of turn that over to my husband and what he would think.
Being from the military services, during the past, I will always use a online service throughout the military. And one thing I didn't like about it is not able to speak to someone live. And since I've been with Elite 8, having that person live in front of me has been great rewarding. If me and my wife had to recommend Elite 8 to a family or friend, one of the strong attributes would be competence. As a leader in the United States military, I've always been competent. And since my post-retirement, when I'm utilizing a business, I want to make sure they're competent in their answers and their tax preparation.
Get behind the shield.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
What up, what up, what up? We back. Let's give a couple shout outs. Let's see who in the building. We have, now I have 1,500 cousins. I only know 600 of them. And you were like, hey, cousin, what's going on, Julie? We have Shake in the building. What's going on, sis? Katrina from Milwaukee. Oh, we in Milwaukee in this thing. I heard there's no rental cars up there. What y'all got going on like that? I heard y'all doing it big right now. But is it because of the playoffs? Is that the reason? Well, nevertheless, good luck up there. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share the video. So Before we went to break, we were talking about infrastructure. The term of the week was success, right? So, and that was about your aim or purpose or what have you. But when we talk about infrastructure, I need you guys to understand this. You can ask for success, but the worst thing that could possibly happen to you in business, worse than failure, the worst thing that can happen to you in business is success that you're not prepared for, because you don't get an opportunity to, redo and reposition that thing once your reputation is tarnished or what have you. There's some people that's going to give you a second chance or whatever, but sometimes you're so inundated with sales success or what have you, you don't have an opportunity to turn that corner. I was a part of one of these with an organization I worked with where they rolled out a product in a test market, and they thought they kind of had a clue on some of the kinks, figured they'd do it out as it go. They rolled it out nationwide, and they got steamrolled. I mean, literally steamrolled, but this was a large enough organization that they were able to correct it and get it on track and minimize their losses. And that particular vertical became almost $1 billion vertical within, what they did. And it led to sales in other areas. How many small businesses can really afford that? I'll give you an example. I dealt with a family business recently, and the only reason I'm not going to blast them and put out their name is because on last night, right before I went into my True Fund course, the one of the owners or what have you gave me a call personally and apologized. Now, granted, this was after, I had left 40 messages over a 2-month period, a bunch of emails, etc., and, disputed it with the credit card company and the whole deal. And it took me to start blasting them on Google and Facebook for me to get a call back and get it rectified. And come to find out, it was one of those situations where it had been a family business, 35 years in business. They had recently taken to, the online marketing, social media thing. Who knew they were going to be successful? And they blew up Shawaited, but didn't have the infrastructure in place to deal with client or customer issues. Let me explain something to you guys about what customer service is, because I see a lot of people say they get good customer service just when what's supposed to happens. That's not where the service lies. Like if you have a restaurant and I say I want a medium well steak and you bring me a medium well steak, that's not great customer service. That's what we're paying for. That's what we're doing. Great customer service comes in when unexpectedly a manager or owner or supervisor or somebody walks by to check to see if my party is good. And I had such an experience. Shout out to the Breakfast Club in Houston. I've been trying to get down there for years to get that done, but I wasn't willing to stand in the blistering heat to do that, but the lady surprised us for Father's Day, sent us on a fishing trip, wanted to feed us first. We went by the Breakfast Club. Amazing experience. We get there 20 minutes before they open. There's already a line. But when I tell you, from the time we got in the door, like we literally ordered, set, ate, got fat, full, and sleepy, and was out the door in 45 minutes, still laughing at the team they had there. And we seen almost every face in the building coming by to, check on and say what's up, did we need anything or whatever. It was a great experience. But that's great customer service. Now, the other side of customer service comes in when something happens that's not what you expect, or that does not live up to your value proposition or your stated mission, customer service comes in when you step in and you fix that situation, and the quicker and the most efficient way you do that determines really your level of service or whatever. So I encourage you guys, to always look for ways to improve your customer service, because George Zimmer, former owner of Men's Warehouse, told me this one time. He said, when a customer complains, they are looking for a reason to still do business with you, because an unhappy customer that doesn't want to do business with you anymore, they won't even complain. They'll just go about their business, and if you don't take care of your customers, somebody else will. So going back to this infrastructure thing, guys, make sure because we're going to call them LLC Twitter. LLC Twitter has had everybody out here, trying to set up LLCs, and you guys are not doing your homework. You're not talking to the tax professionals. You're not talking to the attorneys, the accountants, or whatever. You're getting this information from parts of social media who are unqualified. There's so many of us out here giving this game away. You get it from people that are unqualified. Why? Because you don't want to pay a professional for their knowledge. So you get the wrong information. So you end up filing an LLC when in some cases you don't even need one. Then you end up being out of compliance because you haven't filed an annual franchise report, or you haven't filed sales taxes. You don't even have a sales tax permit. These are the things we're talking about with infrastructure. You need to know what you need going in, put it in place, and remain in compliance, because it will cost you a lot more money to go back and correct those situations. And we don't want that for you. So again, when you have an opportunity, if you are a business owner, and most of the audience is, or if you know a business owner and you're not sure where you need to be or whatever, go and visit our Boss Coach page and see what services we offer. Like, hey, we coach in our lane. Like, if you're looking to gain 1 million followers on Instagram, this ain't what you want. I can't tell you how to do that. But if you want to minimize your tax liability, if you want your books in order to obtain funding from other sources, banks, etc., this is what you want. This is where you want to be. So go to bit.ly/boss coach. Boss coach is all caps. bit.ly boss coach, and see what we have to offer. We have a range of packages that range from a tune-up session to a full year program. And in some cases, some of you guys, you just don't have enough time in your schedule because you're working in your business without the time to work on your business, and you need the virtual coaching service, the virtual CFO service. So check those things out and see what you need. So I get asked a lot of times, well, what all do you do if you are able to see the screen? Excuse me. If you are able to see the screen right now, here's a short list. We do have virtual CFO services. We do offer group life insurance, business life insurance, entity formation, bookkeeping and payroll, payment processing, business funding, accounting, and business taxes. You can reach us at 866-2ELITE-8. That's 866-235-4838. And we'll be happy to assist you with any of those services. Then the other thing I do for the people that don't do that, I solve tax problems. And a lot of you are going to have them in the coming year. So let's talk about IRS letters for a minute. If you receive an IRS letter, the first worst thing that you could do is ignore it. The second worst thing that you could do is think you can call the IRS and obtain favor by talking to them, because they're going to be real congenial, because they want to walk you into committing to something that may or may not be the best option for you or whatever. So what you should do is go to elite8financial.com/appointments or call us at 866-235-4838. Let's see what we got going on in the comments here. Somebody said 100. Y'all not going to leave y'all names, are you? So I can't shout you out. But if you haven't shared the video yet, go ahead and share the video. And we'll be back right after this.
Ready to begin your business? Should you be an LLC or a C corporation? How do you track the cost of goods versus operating supplies? What are your depreciable assets? Are you structured to obtain business credit? Not sure? Get a boss. An individual business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services will position your business for success and avoid the pitfalls of startups. From registering with your state, operating agreements, bookkeeping, tax filings, and more, Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services can be your growth partner at every level of your business. Schedule your needs assessment today at www.elite8financial.com/boss or by phone at 469-412-0056.
So they'll be mad at me when I send this for editing, because I don't have any of the segment intros going on in here. But we're going to get into this tax tip situation. Thing I'm getting a lot of phone calls about is the advanced child tax credit. Hit the like button if you claim the child tax credit, if you have questions on the child tax credit, and or if you know someone who's considering whether or not they should get the child tax credit in advance for this year. I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions about that. If you have questions about the child tax credit, go ahead and put those in the chat box. And so there was some confusion about the child tax credit with the age of 17 and 18 in 2020 versus 2021. So yes, if you were turning 18 in the prior year, you didn't get it for that kid, and for this coming year, the 18-year-old actually still qualifies for the child tax credit. This is not a mark on your tax professional. This is your government scrambling to dish out funds and try to save the economy, although I think they're going about it the entire wrong way, and that we're going to have a major recession and everything's going to hit the bricks. That's not what this segment is about. We're talking about the child tax credit. So you may or may not have gotten a letter. If you claim the child tax credit for your 2020 tax return, you may have gotten a letter already regarding the advanced child tax credit, which begins being distributed on July 15th, in just about 2 or 3 weeks here. And some of you are asking, about the thresholds and things of that nature. If you're a client, those questions have been answered. If you are not a client, here's a resource for you to go and find out. It is on the screen. It is irs.gov. When you get to irs.gov, you can enter in 2021 child tax credit and go to the frequently asked questions, and it's going to give you a lot of information about eligibility, thresholds, etc. I'm going to give you a summary breakdown right now because this part is my biggest concern, especially if you're going to be coming to me as a new client. Part one is that this is a 50% credit, which to my understanding is broken down into monthly payments. So you take half of whatever your eligible child tax credit is, divide that by 6 months, and that's what you'll get as the monthly payment. Where I believe this is going to cause confusion is some people are going to opt in late, some people are going to opt out, and of course, when it's time to file your taxes, some people are not going to know. You saw what happened with the unemployment. There's some of you who still haven't received tax refunds and everything for this past filing season or whatever, and that's because it was a big just train wreck on the part of the government. So I will tell you, if you need this money, yes, of course, opt in. But if you want to keep life simple and it's not something you have to have right now, just wait and claim it at the end of the year because it's reconciled. It's just in advance. There's no mystique to it. It's not going to tax you later. But here's the people I really want to talk to. A lot of you are not doing tax planning. We talk about it all the time. Here's one of those reasons that tax planning would be key. Let's say due to COVID, something impacted your household, which subsequently impacted your tax, filings, impacted your tax situation. And then in 2021, when the world opened up, you got a brand new job or a new opportunity, et cetera, whatever the case may be. And now you're questioning, okay, does this apply to me? Should I take it? So forth and so on. This is why you need to do tax planning. You may have had a kid turn 19 or what have you, but they qualified based on the 2020 tax return. There's this new deal with the earned income credit that may have you want your 19-year-old or whatever who did not go to college to go ahead and just file for themselves, even though they live with you, because it may be more beneficial to them. There's a lot of nuances within this, and there's no cookie cutter answer. That's the biggest thing I need you guys to understand. You throw questions out, there's no cookie cutter answer. Your situation is your situation. What's going on, Garrett? Shout out Rico Smith. What's happening, my man? So get with your tax professional. If your tax professional does not do tax planning, just find someone that does. Ask them for a recommendation. It's a small world. They probably have somebody that can do tax planning for you. Your financial advisor is a good person, but it takes a number of pieces of puzzles to put there and look at ways to minimize your tax liability. So again, if you're going to cross that threshold or could potentially cross that threshold in 2021, I believe it was 150K. I would probably advise you to not opt in, and then again, we're talking about adjusted gross income. So, hey, you may make 160, 170, but you're married filing joint, and that's instantly reduced by $24,000, and then there's maybe some other itemizations, who knows? But that's the thing. That's why you have to do the tax planning to find out. So if you're considering getting the child tax credit, if your household income is married and you're, well under 125 grand or whatever, no need to really concern yourself about it. Take the money if you need it. But if you want to simplify life and not have to keep up with that, I would advise you to probably go ahead and opt out and let these other things fall where they may, because here's the thing. This is the first time since I've been in the business that I've seen that many tax laws change in such a short period of time. Usually we see something where something's being proposed and then it's passed and then it takes effect at the end of that particular tax year. This is the first time I've seen stuff like really just bam, right across the head. It's like, okay, let's go back and adjust this and go back and adjust that. So 1 minute they told us not to do amendments, then they say you should, and now they're saying no again. It's just a lot of confusion. And I can tell you right now, we're going to deal with the fallout of what was 2020 as it relates to the tax profession. We're going to deal with the fallout of 2020 well into 2027, 2028. So again, if you guys get a letter from the IRS this is not something you want to play with, because you'll make that phone call and talk yourself right out of your own taxpayer rights or whatever. So call a professional, invest in saving. How you love that? Invest in saving. So in other news, this one almost got by me. If you guys have not seen this already, and I don't know why I didn't download a picture to show you guys, but y'all knew some other things I was working on as far as books go, but my first published piece is now available on Amazon. You can find it at bit.ly/remarkablebiz volume 2. I am a contributing author to that book there, and had a fun time working with the team over there. Had a good time doing the live interview. Some of you may have seen the live interview, but a lot of great information in that short piece. So go ahead and copy your digital copy or your physical copy. That's bit.ly/remarkablebiz, B-I-Z, volume 2. And we should have the actual boss book, coming out before the end of the year. Don't hold me to that, because a lot of twists and turns pull me in a lot of different directions. So again, if you haven't filed your taxes yet for 2020, then you may have some issues with the advanced child tax credit or what have you. So give us a call. Let us check that out for you. Not a problem. You can go to elite8financial.com/appointments. The cost for your appointment does go towards your services, but the consult is more than worth it. Matter of fact, I'm going to kick in a little bit of a bonus here. Because I see this all the time, I'm going to give you guys something that I give our business clients. If you schedule an appointment through the website at elite8financial.com/appointment, after your completed appointment, I'm going to give you guys our expense ledger that will help you track expenses by the month, categories you probably aren't thinking of. It's already formatted for you. You'll be able to enter the numbers. It'll carry it and move it and add it and everything that you need to do. But with it, you're also going to get a consult on how to use it so that you can maximize that. This is like, put it like this, on the low end of bookkeeping, this would be a $4,800 annual value, and I'm giving it to you guys, and you're able to, refresh it every year and use it in perpetuity. It's a win-win. So that in itself is more than worth the consult. But the other part of that is that we really want to help you guys tune up your business, look at things you may be missing as far as an operational thing, and allow that to happen for you. So shout out to my man Eric Bettis, and also my man Dave Anderson. Dave and I are going to be doing a lot of work coming up. And this is, I asked you guys about advertising on Boss Talk Radio, and it wasn't because I need your advertising dollars. It was actually to provoke the frame of mind that you should invest in commercials for your business to use on the various platforms. Everybody's in. Well, you know what we're going to do is we're going to address that and why I got kicked off of Facebook in 5 minutes of fire right after this.
Finding your brand space in this ever-changing economy can be challenging to new and established businesses. Graphic Line Media can help launch your business's brand potential to unknown places with creative revisioning that relentlessly presses the competition. From graphic design, web, print, apparel, media, and social, we have something designed to grow your business. Don't hesitate. Rule your space. Visit Graphic Line Media at graphiclinemedia.com or join our Facebook page at Graphic Line Media to get special discounts and offers.
behind the shield.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
So I know y'all been waiting on that segment, and I took the intro off to that, to get myself pumped up and ready to go for it. So a couple things we're going to do on 5 Minutes of Fire. We're going to hit a couple bullet points, but this is point number one. Guys, you have to get in the mindset of pay to play at some point. I'm just saying, yeah, the Facebook stuff is cool and everything, to get your free, market here, there, and everything. But at some point, your clients want to see you elevate. They want to see you do better. You ever wonder why the preachers that look successful get even more money and more followers and everything? It's kind of the same thing, So imagine this, if you would. Here's how I hit everybody with this, and some of you may not need a commercial for what it is that you have, but at a bare minimum, you should have your personal and business bio ready to go at all times in a moment's notice. You should have this on your laptop or tablet. You should have it on a thumb drive. You should have a file on your phone if necessary, so that no matter where you are, if that opportunity comes to talk about your business, you're able to do it. And so I didn't realize this was like that uncommon, that this was like that unknown, but it's a lot of times I'll see somebody and I like the way they're moving, or I like the way I'm seeing their business grow, or I like their story, and I'll have my team reach out, to them. And it's like, okay, send us your media kit or press kit or your bio or whatever. And if you don't have one, then fill out this intake form, basically so I can get these same questions answered. And it's amazing how many people actually struggle with that. It's one thing not to have one, but when you're struggling to talk about your own business, it's like, wow. I've seen this a lot. Somebody says you have to invest in showing people who you are at some point. Absolutely. This question was asked, I've seen it in a few different places, but the question was asked, what can you talk about for 30 minutes? And sometimes I've seen it be said as an hour. What can you talk about for 30 minutes or an hour with no notice? Like somebody can walk up and you can talk about it for 30 minutes or an hour with absolutely no preparation, and a lot of people will get into an answer without realizing the essence of the question, because the first part of that question, or the first science to that question, is kind of like to determine if you are an expert. Some people will say they can talk about what it is that they do for an hour, and in the grand scheme of things, they really can't, when they get right, like when they really dig down into it. But I've heard some people say, well, I'm not a salesperson. You're lying to yourself. Everybody's a salesperson, and I can prove it. There is nothing on this planet you know better and longer than yourself. And you are a product. At least you are to the U.S. government if you don't believe you are to yourself. So you should be able to talk about yourself at any point in time for at least an hour. And if you've dated anybody ever, you've closed deals. So let's focus on that for a moment, guys. Like, look, don't take all of your money out of your business. Don't leave in the bare minimum for those of you that have products versus services. Don't leave just enough in to reproduce the product or whatever. Actually invest in your business. Understand that marketing is not the same thing as sales or whatever. I was watching this one YouTube video and it was talking about different placements or whatever. And I was like, yeah, now I kind of like rocking my green screens and stuff because like I could pull that down and put shelves behind me and put all kind of cool stuff up there about what I do. But I decided to do very minimal product placement in the top corner there. You see my enrolled agent license. Behind me, you see my man Mark Arrington. Shout out to Mark Arrington, that boy good. Artwork, signature line, catch these hands, those are hand done by Mr. Arrington or whatever. So I accomplished two things with that because you see the shield, you see the name, you see the face or whatever, and I'm marketing his brand at the same time. Then right underneath that, this was a gift box from my friends over at Stock Train. Shout out to Jay and Latoya Owens and the Greens. Had a fun time with them on the show. These are people that you could really actually learn these things from about investing before you go jump off in Robinhood or whatever, So I get to show all of those different things. And of course, I'm always going to rock the shield or whatever. But guys, those things cost, all of those different things, those cost dollars, but I invest in that because there's nowhere that I go that my brand will not be seen. I'm 6'4", 310 and wear a size 16 shoe. I'm a walking billboard for what I do. And I get stopped all the time to be asked about, well, what's this or what's that or what you're trying to sell? It works. So invest in yourself. And while you're on here, sharing your links or whatever, be able to have something people can go to or whatever, or that just scroll by or whatever, that they can see this, So wanted to touch on that. So recently, I went to Facebook jail, and I always wondered why people were going to Facebook jail with the kind of stuff that I say and do and had never been or whatever. I finally made it to Facebook jail. So I was going to do a lot of the, screen sharing and everything to show y'all what had happened, and things of that nature. But I ran out of time to set that up because I was just being petty with that part anyway, so I had to deal with what paid me first and then go and set up for the show. This is the first show of the month. So, but what it was, there was this new group. Many of you have heard of Michael Baisden, and he has this new group out there or whatever. So a question was posed, and in typical social media fashion, it was one of those why men questions or whatever, And so I just dropped, a little bit of truth on that situation. And of course, as usual, people, want to dispute science. Guys, you have to understand something. There's two things I'm always going to do. I'm always going to have facts to back up what I'm saying, number one. Number two, if I don't have facts to back it up, it's probably because I don't really disagree with you. I'm just being an antagonist because that's what I do. Like, and the people that know me best, they know, we'll be in a party with a whole discussion going on. I'll just drop a bomb and walk out or whatever and let everybody argue and sit back and drink my situation. This is what I do. So anyway, the question was something to the effect of why men cheat instead of telling the person they're with or something to that effect or whatever. And my response was basically, people want what they can't have. And at the moment that they can have it or whatever, it loses some appeal. Well, few women got their drawers and their booty behind that. And that's cool because that's not my type of woman anyway, because, never mind. We'll just say sundress, no panties. Anyway, it's one thing to have a difference of opinion, and, a couple of people express their difference of opinion, and I'm like, hey, it is what it is. Just because you may not feel that way doesn't mean it's not true. I'm not saying I feel that way. All I'm saying is, scientifically, people want what they can't have. Now, a few people tried to come for me and was like, well, yeah, what I say is a lot about you, and maybe that's why you're divorced. And I'm like, where's this foolishness coming from? A question was asked. I answered the question. I never said this had anything to do with me. I never even defended the position other than this is science. But for you hypersensitive, emotionally unintelligent, got your drawers and your booty ass individuals, let me prove my case. People want what they can't have. That's why you idolize Rolls Royces when you drive a Ford. We'll take it one step forward. When I say this is a natural human thing, I'm in Texas right now. And I'm in North Texas, like I'm up here, Dallas area. And I guarantee you, if you're within 100 miles north of me, or anywhere, which would put you in Oklahoma, or anywhere south of me, your air conditioner is on right now. You know why? Because it's hot outside. Now, if humans didn't want the opposite of what it is, why do we turn on our air conditioners in the summer and our heaters in the winter? We're just contrary ass people. We want what we can't have. When it's summer, we want it cooler. When it's winter, we want it warmer. We want what we can't have. And when we can have something that was like desired or whatever, all of a sudden it doesn't have really as much appeal. Like case in point, let's say, let's take rich people for an example. Some of you be looking at rich people like, well, if I had that kind of money, I wouldn't worry about this or that or the other. Well, here's the thing. That's because you want to buy shit that you can't buy. People that can buy anything that they want, buying shit is not exciting to them. They need something else as a form of excitement. So this is what I meant by people want what they can't have. So what ultimately ended up happening, if you've been following me for any amount of time on my personal page, you've seen me use this Ice Cube meme where it's the young Ice Cube where he's handing somebody a gun and says, kill yourself. Well, apparently I can post that picture all day long, but I can't actually type the words, kill yourself. So one of these young ladies decided that she was going to come for the G, and after realizing that, I'm like, okay, you just want to argue. So I clicked on her page to go to her profile, and no workplaces to show, no education, no this, no, like, so it's like, okay, you're not even significant, and your profile picture has flies on your lips or whatever as like a filter, and I'm like, flies are attracted to shit, so that says a lot about you, but whatever. And then I didn't have an issue with her because, I get it, you're feminist or whatever, man told the truth or whatever, you don't want to hear that, you want to attack me or whatever, but, it is what it is. The ones that like really bug the shit out of me, and I'm going to ask all the guys right now, like all the for real dudes, to step up on this one, because, I got some bros that's like, yeah, I'm not going back and forth with people on social media or whatever. For me, the shit's just fun, but what's a bigger pandemic than COVID? In the words of Cat Williams, bitch ass niggas. Man, y'all need to quit. Come on. And I'm gonna ask all the bros out there, all the for real bros, to do this. When you see this bitch ass behavior, call it out. So here's what it looks like. Sometimes there's some posts out there that just don't have no sense to it or whatever. It's usually posted by a woman. It's usually asking, bashing men or whatever. It'd be like one of those questions that they really don't want the answer to, like, why I'm in this, or, why I'm in that. And it's like, you don't really want the answer, because as soon as somebody responds, y'all at their throat. But then that band comes along. Y'all know that abbreviation of BAN. I ain't gonna say it no more, but that one comes along and he looking for pussy points. Like if he agreed with this woman's nonsense, and it'd be nonsense, that she's gonna somehow find him attractive or whatever and hit him in the DM, or that she'll respond to his DM. Man, look, if that's working for y'all, go ahead and do what you do, but whatever. I'm calling y'all out every single time from this day forward. Am I going to call you out, I'm going to screenshot you, blast you, and let the whole tribe get at you as being a band. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, go back to the top of the hour if you're just joining in. Bunch of information. This was G on this petty. Had to get that out of there. But I told her to go ahead and kill herself. Facebook was like, yeah, no, you're out of here for 30 hours. I guess that's a misdemeanor, Facebook jail type thing or whatever. And I'm like, hey, I'm cool on that, because I own TalkBossRadio.com. You can't censor me. I could do this all day, and I could use all the different platforms where it's free. Like, y'all know how many podcast players I'm on? It's crazy. And all I have to do is check a box like, yeah, this one contains some profanity, and it's good to go. So yeah, that was funny to me. So we always desire comfort and more, but only the strong go hard for. Oh man, this sounds like something Shake would have said. I don't know if this Shake's comment or whatever, because they didn't leave a name. But yeah, the strong go hard for it. And on the 8th day, we rest. Y'all see that 8 back there? I'm just saying the 8 right here. Yeah, on the 8th day, we rest and clown people. That's what I do. So, but yeah, a lot of information at the beginning of the hour: child tax credit, infrastructure for your business, etc. Guys, there's too much money out here in the way of grants and loans, etc. And while y'all scheming and plotting to do fake stuff for PPP loans, let's go ahead and get your business legitimate. Look, I've been telling you guys since 2016, and went hard for y'all in 17 when we first started talking about Boss, to go ahead and get your business in order, get your docs up to date or whatever. The people that listen to me, man, they slid in on funding like it was nobody's business, was ready for round 2, made it do what it do. The rest of y'all was out here trying to bug accountants to hurry up and put, a year or more worth of books together, during the middle of tax season. Like, y'all crazy. Come on, man. Cut that out. Now's the time. The waters are still. Go ahead and get that work. Yeah, it's going to cost you, but look at the funding opportunities that's available to you. Oh my God, I was in a course here. Did y'all catch the last episode that was a month ago? It was so fire, I had to take a month off. The one with contracting with government. Go peep that out on YouTube. It's crazy. Like, there's so much money, and there's so many organizations out there to show you how to get this money. It is absolutely sick. So if your business is struggling, your business is failing or whatever, 95% of that is on you. Reach out, get help. I'm not your cheapest option, but I'm an option. There's options out there. As they say, get behind the shield. Anyway, this has been another episode of Boss Talk Radio. Next week, we're working on this episode behind the scenes, some complex movements on it. Next week, we're coming to you guys and talking about, and not talking about, we're going to show you live what collaborative efforts and group economics look like, how to execute that thing. You don't want to miss this, because no matter what industry you're in, this game is going to apply. So make sure you guys tune in next week. Friday at 2 p.m. This has been your host, George Dandridge. I'm out, y'all.
Boss Talk Radio, keeping it real, yeah, that's for sure. I said a Boss Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. Need a boss. Ooh, need a boss.